Kurt. How are you doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good? Okay. Now, I know you have a basic understanding of lots of forms of English here, but I just wanted to go through these before we get into anything more complex today. What I was going to do is go through basic, like nouns, pronouns, verbs, and then depending on how much time we have left and depending on how well we've been able to, get this stuff like established, we might move on to simple sentences, but that kind of depends on how well we do here first.
Okay.
First off, I just wanted to start off with basic forms of English words. Okay, not sentences, not whole phrases, not anything with that. Not different forms, just words right now. Okay, can you give me an example of nouns? Can you give me what is a noun?
Something that you are referring to a specific proper thing, like a name, a city.
Okay, so like a person, a place, a thing, or an idea.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you have that, basically down. But what about something like like if I give you a word like democracy or poverty, would that be a noun? Do you think yes or no?
No.
No. See, actually, these ones are because a noun does more than a person, place, or thing. It does a person, place, thing, or idea, or a state. Okay, and when I say state, I mean like poverty is a state of being impoverished. It's being rich is a noun because it describes your state of wealth.
Okay.
Poverty is a noun because it describes your state of wealth, which is not a whole lot. Now, an idea such as democracy, communism, those seem very complex, but they're actually just simple nouns because they're describing one main idea. Okay?
Okay. Now, let's say I'm reading something. How am I gonna know based on the word if that's gonna be a noun or not? If I'm unsure, is there something that I look out for to let me know that's a noun?
Yeah, like I said, a sentence or a paragraph or anything like that, they can have more than one noun in them, obviously.
Okay.
But like I said, you need to look for a person, place, thing, activity, idea. Like I said, like something that's like obvious. Steve, Jeff, Mike.
Yes.
Those are nouns. China, America, Korea, Japan, countries. Those are nouns too.
Okay.
So like the main thing you have to look for if you want to write this down: person, place. Okay.
Okay.
Activity, a thing, or idea. Those are the very basic forms of nouns. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, okay, so this makes sense. Like if I were to give you a sentence such as, see here, Mike lives in Australia. What are the nouns?
Let's see. So Mike, Australia.
There you go. Perfect. See, that's basic stuff.
Okay.
Okay, now, what about pronouns? Do you know what I mean by pronouns?
Pronouns. I'm not exactly sure. You're gonna have to tell me.
Well, pronouns are basically something like when you can refer to yourself, you can or refer to someone else, like I, me, him, her, that kind of thing. That is what would specify what a pronoun is.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you know how to use all the different forms of pronouns?
No.
No? Okay, well, if I give you a word like I or me, they both mean one thing, right? They both mean yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know how to use the difference between the two? Like when to use I and when to use me? Do you know how to do that?
No, I mean I might need you to.
Okay, well that's totally fine.
Yeah.
When you're going to use I, it's when you specifically are doing the action. Okay? Like I kicked the ball.
Okay.
Okay?
I kicked the ball. Okay.
That is a pronoun where specifically you are the one that's doing the action, and that's called a subject pronoun.
Subject pronoun.
Now, some people think the subject should be ball, right? Because that's the main idea of the sentence, right? What is the action being done to is the ball, right?
Okay.
But that's not actually the subject. That's the object.
It's the object.
The object. The subject is the person that is doing the action.
Okay, so I see. If you're referring to yourself, that's I. But if you're referring to the object in the scene, like TV, I'm watching TV.
Yeah.
The object would be TV.
Well,
no.
Yeah. No.
Watching.
No. Watching is we're gonna go on that later.
Okay.
You are right about I would be the noun, the pronoun because it's I, and then watching the TV because TV is a thing, so that's another noun.
Okay.
Okay. You could say something like I kicked the ball.
Okay.
He kicked the ball to me. You see how me, this time the action is being done to you. You know, you are not kicking the ball. Okay, so you say me. I kick the ball. I'm doing the action.
Oh, I get it.
You are receiving the action. You say me. Like
okay. Receiving the action is me.
Mm-hmm.
Performing the action is I.
Yes. So how would you want to say, like, if I wanted to say, give me a sentence where someone is doing the action to you, would you use I or me? Give me an example of I. Give me an example of me.
Okay. He passed me the chips.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. And how about for the first one?
I passed him the chips.
There you go. Perfect. See,
okay.
This is not that hard. No, good. These are very, very basic. And for different types of pronouns, like I said, we went over the first two, subject and object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a few more, such as possessive, which is things that, you know, you think of like possession, right?
Yes.
Owning.
Yes.
My bag. Mine. That's
okay.
when it, you know, things, just think when you hear mine, like, you know, it's mine. It belongs to me. Therefore, it's possessed by me. Possessive pronoun.
Possessive. Okay.
Got it?
So that's my TV.
There you go.
Okay.
That's perfect. There's also one's called interrogative pronouns. All right? And what that is just basically if you're interrogating someone, you're asking them questions, right?
Yes.
That's what an interrogation is. That's one of the words.
Mm-hmm.
To interrogate means to ask questions. So an interrogative pronoun, you take the base of that word, it means to ask a question. So what are you doing? What is the pronoun?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one that's asking the question. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. The next form I'm going to go on to is an adjective. Do you know what an adjective is? Can you
an adjective? I've heard this before.
An idea.
Yes.
Give me an example.
An adjective. Selfish. Is that an adjective?
Sort of what
it's describing something.
It's describing. That one is describing kind of a noun. It's more of describing you. That's close. It's good. The adjective, basically what it is that you want to say something like, you know, if it owns a property of something, like you say like the sun or the moon. Like if you say the moon is full,
mm-hmm.
that means the adjective describes the noun, just like you said.
Okay.
So full
would be the adjective.
Perfect. Okay. That's it. That's really all you have to worry about for that one. It's whenever you like are taking something to describe it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right. One last thing I wanted to cover before we go on to verbs, which is a little bit more complex than some people think. Okay. One other thing with adjectives I was going to go over is there's many different types of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, you know, full or this is full, that kind of a thing. There's different ones. There's things like this, that, these, and those. There's also ones that are called numeral, which is exactly what you think they'd be, numbers,
mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there's also indefinite pronouns. Do you know what I mean? Indefinite adjectives. Do you know what I mean by indefinite?
No. Okay,
this means something that you don't really count specifically, like 5, you know, cups or 7 of this. There's also indefinite where you can just say several, many, a lot.
So it's kind of like a overview of.
Basically, it's when you say like, you know what, give me all of them.
Oh, okay.
You know, give me all of them. If there's 500 of them, you don't have to say give me 500 of it. You can just say give me all of them. And it's more indefinite though because you may not know the number. You know, they may ask you, hey, how many of this do you want? And if you don't know, you can just say, give me as many as you can. Many.
Many is
give me all of them.
Indefinite.
Yeah, it's indefinite because it can change, right? Many can be 10. Many can be 10,000.
Right.
You know.
But on that subject, how can you be sure that the person you're talking to understands what you mean?
Well, basically,
like how do they know? Like if I want 10 pieces of something as opposed to 500 pieces of something, is there something that you have to say in order for them to make sure that you understand it?
Well, that's really where their understanding of the, you know, of is. I mean, that's